Welcome friends to my Python classes. In this video we are going to talk about loops. Now loop is something which is very important when we come into the concepts of programming. Most of the programs needs to repeat few blocks of codes. Now in order to do that in a dynamic way, we require a loop. So let us know what is a loop. A loop is a control structure, just like if else and if elif what we did in the previous videos. Loop is a control structure that allows the flow of control to repeatedly move through the block of code associated to the loop till the state of the specified condition is true. Now I'll be showing you few demonstrative examples in form of initially a flowchart, then a process chart, and then few programs. But before that, let us know about few basic terms which are associated to loops. The first thing which we need to know is the initialization. Next thing is the test condition, and the third one is the modification. Now what are these? Now whenever any loop is to be built, as you can see in the flowchart now, the first step where I am giving or setting a value to a variable which further is going to determine that how many times the code block needs to be repeated is known as initialization, or in simple words it is setting the first value for the looping variable, the control variable of the loop. Now in this flowchart, as you can see, let us study the flowchart first. As you can see here, the value of I is set to 1, and here we are taking the input of A. What we are going to do with it, let us not discuss now. Let us just discuss the structure of the loop. Now we are going to pinpoint three specific steps. The first is the initialization, second is the test condition, and third one is the modification. Now in this, let us see what is happening. The value of I is set to 1. Now here there is a decision box. Now in decision box we know that there is one input flow and two output flows, and the one takes up when the condition's state is true, and the other one is taken up when the condition is false. Now in the initial stage, when the value of I is going to be set to 1, the value of 1 will be less than equals to 10. So definitely it is going to allow, and so it is going to move towards yes. Now if it is yes, let us not talk about this step number 4. We are going to straight away go to step number 5. Now what is happening in step number 5? Now step number 5, we can see we are increasing the value of I by 1. Now in this case, what will happen? The previous value which was set to I was 1. Now after this step number 5, which is termed as modification, is getting executed, it becomes 2. And the arrows, the flow of control is being taken back to the condition. Now here what is happening? The value of I has now become 2. So is 2 less than equals to 10? Yes. So what will now happen is it is going to again allow the flow of control to enter into the loop structure, and progressively in a similar fashion it is going to increase the value of I once more from 2 to 3 this time, and then it is going to go back in the same cycle, and then it is going to check whether the condition is true or not. Now when the value of I, after having gradual increments multiple times, when the value of I is becoming 10, that time also it is going to allow, and it will enter into the loop body. Now when the value of I is going to increase from 10 and will become 11, there what will happen? The condition is not going to satisfy, and it is going to reject the flow of control to enter inside the loop body. So we have now at least figured out like what is initialization, what role the test condition is playing, and what modification is doing. Now let us simply understand it once more. So initialization is what? That step where we are setting the value of the looping variable or the control variable of the loop for initiating the loop. Now, what is the test condition? Test condition is that decisive step which decides whether the flow of control needs to get inside the loop body to repeat something or not, or it needs to move out. And what is the role of modification? The modification is very, very important because the modification only lets the state of the test condition change in a progressive manner. Because in this case, what we have seen, the value of I started from 1, it gradually incremented, and when the value of I incremented to 11, there the condition failed and the loop stopped. So initialization is the step where we say that from where the control variable should start counting. Test condition says where it should end, and the modification says that how it should proceed from the starting point, the initial point, to the final point. Now, to understand it better, I want you to see the process chart that right now has appeared on the screen. Now what you can see, the flow of control, these arrows are denoting that it is coming to 1, then goes to 2, then goes to 3. Now 3 is that decisive factor where it is being decided whether the value of I is less than equals to 10 or not, and if it is less than equals to 10, it is going to move to 4, and then 5, then subsequently again back to 3, and it is going to have a cycle again and again in a circular fashion till the state of the condition in step number 3 says it is not satisfying anymore. So what is a loop? Now this picture which you can see made up of arrows is giving you a clear picture that it is kind of a circular path but has got a defined entry and a defined exit. And in this case we can see that defined entry point and the defined exit point is the same statement which is making the condition. Now what will happen in this case? Now when the value of I is going to satisfy this condition, statement number 3, it is going to keep on repeating it, and whatever is going to come within that cycle, within that circular block, will get repeated that many times. So if I want to repeat any statement, what I will do is I'll place that statement within this type of control structure, and I will actually examine the behavior of the loop by setting the initialization, test condition and modification, and based on that, whatever way the loop behaves, that many times the statement which is inside the loop block will get repeated. Now in this case, what do I actually want to do? In this example, I want to print the multiplication table of any value. Now let us see. Say for example, if the value of I is set to 1 and the value of A user supplies as 7. Now is I less than equals to 10? Yes. So after this point, that is point number 3, if it is yes, where does it go? It goes to 4. And what is in statement number 4? It is printing the value of A, which is 7, and then printing a constant literal cross, which is going to appear like multiplication sign, what we usually use in mathematics. Now then the value of I is going to be 1, and then this symbol, which is the symbol for equality, is going to be printed. So far what you can find out is 7 cross, that is into 1 equals to, till this is going to be printed, and along with it what is going to be printed? The product of 7 and I. I is 1 now, so it is going to print 7. So it will give you 7 multiplied by 1 equals to 7. And then gradually what will happen? See, I could see 7 into 1 equals to 7 is going to be printed out of it. Then the gradual increment of I is going to make the value of I as 2. So it is going to go back to this condition once more, and here the value of I, which is 2, is less than equals to 10. Yes. So this time it is going to print 7 cross 2 equals to 7 into 2, that is 14. So we can see here 7 into 2 is 14. Now the value of I is going to develop to 3. And so it's going to have a cycle as 7 into 3 is equal to 21. Then 7 into 4 equals to 28. Then 7 into 5 equals to 35. And similarly from 6 to 10 it is going to print the whole multiplication table. So let us see the same code, the same problem in form of a code. So I'll be showing you the code. For that I will take you to the IDE. So we have come to the Python IDE. Now I'll be showing you the same problem in terms of Python code. So I'll be putting a function called multiplication, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize the value of I as 1. Then I'll be taking the input for A. Now what is A? Enter the number for which the multiplication table to be shown. Now it has become a very long message, so let me make it a little short just by telling it to a shortcut. Now this is okay. Now we have to take the value of A, so we have taken it. Now how to make that loop function? In Python there are two ways in which we can make a loop. There is a keyword called while and there is a keyword called for. I will show you both the samples for the same problem or the program. Now before that I'll be showing you a simple set of code with while loop. So what I wanted to print, I wanted to print A, then cross, then the value of I, then the equal sign, and then the product of A and I. So that's it. Now what else was required? We needed to increase the value of I by 1 every time. So that's it. I don't need to do anything else. So I will write multiplication and I'll call this function. So it is showing me. So I'll take 7. So it has given me the output as I expected. Now the same problem can also be done using another loop where we'll be using for. But before that, let us try to understand what is there in the code. Now the way we have done the previous videos and we have learnt about if, else if and all those things, there we have seen that there is a block which gets executed when this condition is true, when I write if. But here I am not writing if, rather I am writing while. So while means what? Till this condition is true, I will have to repeat it. So if it is if, it is going to execute it just once, and in a simple way if it is while, it is going to execute it till the given condition is true. So here we can make out that this step, the first step, that is I equals to 1, is the initialization step where we are setting the value for the control variable for the first time. Next is the test condition which we have written along with while, and here what we are going to do, we are going to determine whether the flow of control is going to enter into the body of the loop or it is going to exit the loop body. And What is this? This statement is the modification statement. And in this modification statement, in a simple way, it is just going to change the control variable's value so that in next moves, it might change the state of the condition, which may break the flow of control to enter into the loop body again and again. So this same program, if I want to repeat with any other value randomly, will produce me that result. Say for now example, now if I take 5, it's going to show me the table of 5. Now if I want to bring changes here, say for example, if I want to make it till 20, and then if I run it, this time what is going to happen? It will produce first 20 multiples. So what I have done, if you see, I just changed the final value. Initially I wrote I less than equals to 10, now it is I less than equals to 20. So this is how we can write this program. Now I'm going to show you the same program using some other loop. Now I'll be copying the same content once more, but I'll make certain changes in it because many things I will not be requiring in this case. So what am I doing? I'm not going to write while, I'll write something else. And in fact, why I'm showing you this case now, because this code, if you see, we have removed the initialization step, test condition also, and modification also. The whole thing is going to be done with a simple function called the range. Now what I'm going to do, let me first run the program and then I will show you what I have done. So let me see whether this program gives me the same output or not. I want for 7. So it has shown me the multiplication table of 7, just the way we were doing it with the while loop. So what is happening here? Now the most important part of this program is definitely for, but equally important is this function called range. Now what is range? Now range, there are multiple ways in which the range can be used. And in this way, when I use it, what happens is the number that I am putting here, it produces a sequence starting from 0 till 1 before the number. So if the statement is range 10, it is going to give me a sequence of numbers starting from 0 to 9. And here if I write for I in 0 to 9, then in that case what is going to happen is the loop is going to run for all the values, keeping the value of I once as 0, next time as 1, then 2, then 3, gradually till 9. Now for that purpose, when the value of I initially is going to be 0, I don't want 0 to be included in the multiplication table. I should start with 1. So what I did, I made a simple change. In place of simply writing I as I have written in the previous program, here I have written I plus 1. And in this case also I plus 1. So what is going to happen? For the first time, when the range is going to give the value 0 and the value of I is going to run for 0, there it's going to print A, whatever is the value. In this case it is 7. Then the cross is going to appear and I plus 1 is going to show you 0 plus 1, that is 1, and then equals to, and then the product of A and I plus 1. So it is going to give me the same multiplication table as I was expecting. Now I'm going to make some other change in it. I will be showing how range function can be used in a little different manner also. I'm going to copy the same program. Now what I'm doing is, let me check it. So what I'm going to do is, I've started from 10. I want to go till 1, so the ending point is going to be given as 0 and then minus 1. Let me see whether this shows you the same output or not. Definitely not. Why? Where's the change? I'll be telling you that. But for now, let's see what it has done. Now it has taken the range from 10 to 1. So in what way? We are going to figure out the starting. This is the initial value and this is going to limit the end value. That means when the value is going to become 0, it will not satisfy. It's going to stop at 1. And why 10 to 1? Because we are subtracting the value of the range by 1 every time. So it is going to start from 10, go till 1 before 0, that means 1, that means 10 to 1, and every time it is going to decrease by 1. Decrease by 1, why? Because I have written minus 1. Now what happened? Why it has given me 7 into 11 equals to 77? Why not 7 into 10 equals to 70? Because here I have taken it as I plus 1. So actually when I am taking it like this, I should make a change here also. So what should be the correct code? Let me show you. The correct code is going to be, now I is going to appear without any change. So it was definitely this code which will appear, and now it is going to show you from 10 to 1. So to understand it better, let me make some more changes in it and then like predict what is happening. Say for example, if I started from 20 and I put it to 0, that means it is going to run from 20 to 1, and in place of minus 1, if I write it as say 2, then in that case what will happen? The first number which is going to be generated definitely is 20. Then the next number which will be generated will be 18. Why? Because it is minus 2. So 18, then 16, like that it is going to generate the sequence. So let me see whether really thing that I expected is being shown or not. Exactly what I expected, that is being shown. Now in this sequence you must be thinking like, when I said that it should run till 1, why it is running till 2? Because when the sequence is running, it is running in the way like 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And the next number which is coming is 0, which is not within this range, so it is stopping it. Now the same program, if I started from 19, you will observe it is taken from 19 till 1, like 19, 17, 15, that way. So with this we have got a complete idea like how we need to put a while loop and a for loop in a simple program. In coming days I will be showing you many more programs based on these loops. One more for you. Let us take it. Now you will tell me what way it is going to go. It is going to start from 4 and the final range value is going to be 40. Why? Because it is limited by this one before it. And how the value is going to move? It's going to increase every time by 4. So let me show you how the program runs. So with this, I hope you have understood how the values are increasing. It started from 4, then added 4 to it, then added 4 another next time, then it kept on adding 4 and it reached till 40, and when it became 44, the next number which is not within the range, it stopped. So this is how we use range function, we use for, and we use while. I'll be showing you many more examples where variety of usage, variety of techniques are going to be discussed. Till then, keep exploring, keep trying more programs, and be very clear about the concepts. See these videos again and again, and then grab any problem where you need a repeated execution and try to build a loop for that. So happy coding. Thank you.